So, hello everyone, and welcome to Nifty Ki Baat. We are back with another live session, and we have Raj and Jay Tucker with us, and they're going to help us decode what's happening with the current markets and share a couple of insights with us. So, hi, Jay, and hi, Raj. To
Hello.
begin, the
Hi.
markets are trading near lifetime highs right now. So, how would you describe the current outlook? And do we think we're sustained for an uptrend, or is it time to be cautious? Would you share your inputs?
So, hi and hello everyone. Thanks for viewing our YouTube session of Nifty Ki Baat today. And I would say that, see, basically, Nifty is back to those levels of 26,200 approximately. And we have been seeing that since past couple of trading weeks, Nifty has been consolidating within a very broader range of 26,300 to 25,700, and that's what we have been seeing. So मैं ये कहूँगा कि अगर आप ये देखें, this is what it is. I mean, all-time high is what we created, and then once it was formed, we saw sharp profit booking, sharp or maybe slow grind, I would say. कि धीरे धीरे हमें प्रॉफिट बुकिंग देखने को मिली यहाँ से, and then market got stuck again in 26,000 to 25,200 range. That is somewhere here, अगर आप देखो तो. And फिर क्या हो गया कि again we have seen this breakout beyond this 26,000 levels out here, right? So generally this is what we are seeing, that market is pretty much trading within this range only. And I think that what has changed in this consolidation, because the consolidation has led to a stock specific and sector specific correction, as well as a breakout as well. So we have been discussing about Nifty IT back, because of which markets went up. That happened as anticipated. PSU banks consolidated a bit. Private sector continued to consolidate. Hence, there was less of momentum or move in the bank Nifty overall. If you see the volatility, or maybe the price-wise correction was rather deep in Nifty as compared to the bank Nifty. If you see out here, so where is bank Nifty. So if you see this, it was relatively less as compared to Nifty. So we had this kind of correction in Nifty. So if you see the slope of the fall, the slope is like very, here if you see, that's how the slope is. Here you see and here you see, right?
Right.
So relatively, we did see the correction in Bank Nifty as well, but more of, it is time-wise correction, and now it has broken out from these levels as well. But then, for this entire series, we have seen 60,000 to 59,000. That's broadly been the range for Bank Nifty. Still that same. Nifty, now the way markets have, the broader indices are, or stocks, the kind of correction, short covering we are seeing there. And also, if you look at the FI numbers since past couple of days in equity cash as well as FNO, I think the possibility or the chances of Nifty again taking off this 29,300 now is quite high. And what I think, frankly, is that looking at all of this overall setup, I think that slowly, gradually, it's heading towards the upper end. And upper end would, by that, I would mean that, Nifty is heading towards these levels. That is somewhere around 26,400, 450. Or maybe, if it still, goes little slow, then by far it can stretch to 26,500. So you can keep these levels in mind. कि 26,400 से 500 के level देखने मिल सकते हैं. Maybe, I don't know if it happens today. The volumes or the premiums are too less. So if at all there is a sharp move today on account of the expiry day then today, or else on the Thursday, that is on the day of expiry of Sensex, or I guess if not this week, then very high chance that next Tuesday, which is the monthly expiry, we may see Nifty at these levels, 26,400 to 500. I think that there is a very high chance. It's just that अगर ये gap fill करना है तो gap fill करके जाएगा, but very high chance that it will do this is what I think till 26,000 levels ahead.
And Raj, are your views similar, or would you like to add something?
See, I will discuss from the flows perspective, and while the stop loss remains same, that now instead of looking at 25,700 as a stop loss or the major support, we should consider 26,000 itself as a support level. But on the higher side, I don't want to give any figure. See what happens when FIs short covering starts or when they start buying in equities, then there is a momentum in market. So while today we are not witnessing the same, but in last 3 days, when from last Tuesday onwards, I would say, Nifty has moved up by almost 400 to 450 points, and that was on the back of FIs net buying in the equity market. So the net buying in the last 3 trading sessions where we have the final data is almost 6,500 crores. So after a long time, what we are witnessing that FIs have turned net buyers finally, and because of that, I would expect this momentum might continue towards the end of the month. So that's why I don't want to put a figure over there, whether it will be 26,400, 500 or 26,800. I don't want to get into that. But till 26,000 levels are held, the bias should be positive. So that's how I would like to play. And the only thing which I would say that sectorally, I don't see banking coming into the performance. It should be the stocks where we have seen significant short additions, whether it's technology pack or the consumption pack. So those are likely to take the lead. So that could to restrict the momentum because banking stocks, they hold almost 30% weight in the Nifty. So if I'm not expecting momentum in the banking name, so the overall net yield might be a bit lower. Apart from that, I don't find much negativity in the market right now.
Fair. And if we are to see this up move now, we can't expect when exactly this is happening, like both of y'all said. But can you suggest a quick recap of which sectors do you believe are most likely to lead whenever this upside is to come? Are there any specific sectors we can look out for?
Sure. See, I'll tell you, we had actually released our yearly report as well, and taking cues from that as well as, um, our observations since past couple of months, I would say. See, what has happened is uh, this rally which we have seen in that Bank Nifty or the banking and financial services have outperformed. So that has happened because we saw that private sector banks bouncing back from their lows to almost their 52-week highs. So that helped Bank Nifty to move up. Additionally, what did we see is that, or what we noticed interestingly, is that the PSU banking stocks, that is PSB, public sector banks, that outperformed overall Bank Nifty. And out there, we saw even the large cap stocks like SBI moved quite up or moved up significantly. So that basically helped the Bank Nifty to outperform the Nifty and BFSI overall. And still, we believe that sectorally also, if you see, then financial services stocks have done good. Would not like to name them, but stock specifically. But then relatively, this sector overall, BFSI, banking, financial services, and insurance have done good. So that is at the top. Second, if we see, then what has happened is FMCG, which has underperformed since quite long. We have seen there too, there has been a lot of deviation within the sector, wherein few stocks have seen significant shorts like HUL, ITC, whereas other stocks have witnessed good long build-up. जैसे हम अगर बात करें गोदरेज कंज्यूमर प्रोडक्ट हो के टाटा कंज्यूमर हो के हम बात करें फॉर दैट मैटर विद इन एफएमसीजी मैरिको हो और मे बी फॉर दैट मैटर अगर नेस्ले की भी बात करें रिजल्ट्स भी अच्छे थे. सो ये चार स्टॉक्स ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, राइट, एंड बाकी स्टॉक्स ने नहीं किया. तो जिसने अच्छा किया वो और भी यहाँ से अच्छे लग रहे हैं हमें, एंड बाकी में हमें शॉर्ट कवरिंग देखने मिल सकता है. सो कंबाइंडली अगर हम डेटा देखें तो ये लॉन्ग अच्छे लग रहे हैं, अभी भी अच्छे लग रहे हैं, एंड यहाँ पे अगर हमें शॉर्ट कवरिंग देखने मिल सकता है तो नेट पुट टुगेदर ऑल ऑफ देम एफएमसीजी कैन गो अप, राइट. क्योंकि जैसे मैंने 7-8 स्टॉक्स का जिक्र किया अभी, तो जो 4-5 3-4 अच्छे लग रहे प्लस जो 3-4 शॉर्ट कवरिंग के कारण अच्छा लग रहा है, तो नेट नेट ओवरऑल दिस सेक्टर इज लाइकली टू डू गुड, दैट इज पॉइंट वन, एफएमसीजी, राइट। सेकेंड इज के आईटी में शॉर्ट अच्छा खासा था, अभी भी है, ऐसा नहीं है, तो वहां पे शॉर्ट कवरिंग अब जैसे एफएमसीजी में हमें देखने मिला कि देयर वर फ्यू स्टॉक्स जिसमें लॉन्ग बिल्डअप था, फ्यू जिसमें शॉर्ट कवरिंग था। लाइकवाइज दिस काइंड ऑफ डिविएशन वी सी इन आईटी, जहाँ पे मिड कैप आईटी परफॉर्म वेल एज कम्पेयर टू लार्ज कैप। अब लार्ज कैप में शॉर्ट ज्यादा थे, राइट, तो वहां पे हमें शॉर्ट कवरिंग के कारण मूव देखने मिल रहा है जो अभी भी कंटिन्यू हो सकता है। एंड अगर ऑब्वियसली एफआई के नंबर आते हैं और एफआई का पार्टिसिपेशन अगर आता है, जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं शॉर्ट कवरिंग की या तो वो इन्हीं नाम में आएगा जहाँ पे दे हैड क्रिएटेड शॉर्ट्स एंड मोस्टली वेयर देयर होल्डिंग्स आर इन द लार्ज कैप, राइट। सो देयर वी आर सीइंग शॉर्ट कवरिंग, मिड कैप आईटी slowly gradually could still continue that trend, so IT would be second. Okay. Third, if you ask me, sectorally, um, then I think that metals would continue their uptrend because overall जो हिसाब से DXY में fall है, if that continues going forward as well, so metals would continue their upwards. Hence, we were bullish out there. We actually in our earlier Nifty की बात also we mentioned that on a spaces, Twitter spaces or X spaces, also we mentioned that that is one sector which is likely to continue its uptrend, right? And apart from that, if you ask me, then auto is one sector which we think selectively can do good. Otherwise, more or less, the risk reward is not that great, right? Pharma selectively may do good. I mean, few stocks are looking bad to good and few are not. So it's still mixed. So pharma would like to be very stock specific. Auto would like to be very stock specific. Um, uh, Construction materials में cement जो आता है, which did not perform post GST, is likely to do good. इसमें मतलब अगर आप देखोगे तो जीएसटी के बेनिफिशियल्स मेजर जो होने चाहिए थे वो कंजम्पशन रिलेटेड होने चाहिए थे, एनीथिंग रिलेटेड टू इंफ्रा एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट इसमें सेम, बट आप देखो तो वहां पे मूव ही नहीं आया, केवल एक ही जगह पे आया, देन दैट वाज ऑटो विच परफॉर्म, राइट। सो अदर सेक्टर्स विच विल बी पॉजिटिवली इम्पैक्टेड वहां पे नहीं आया, तो आई थिंक वहां पे आना चाहिए, ऑब्वियसली बिफोर द बजट आना चाहिए। अगर केपेक्स बड़ा अनाउंसमेंट हो गया तो ये सीमेंट में अच्छा मूव आएगा, फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आई एम सेइंग। सो दैट इज वन सेक्टर विच कैन बी पॉजिटिव। सो बीएफएसआई हो गया, आईटी हो गया, ऑटो, फार्मा हो गया, एफएमसीजी हो गया। ऑयल एंड गैस में ऑब्वियसली ओएमसी इज समथिंग विच वी लाइक बिकॉज ऑफ द क्रूड ऑयल प्राइसेस जो नीचे है, एंड अभी भी हमारा व्यू है कि इट्स लाइकली टू बी रिलेटिवली साइडवेज टू नेगेटिव ओनली, तो ओएमसी में डू बेटर फ्रॉम हियर। Okay, and within oil and gas, the large cap Reliance is already doing good, so that may also support the market. Now, these are the stocks and sectors which are looking better, of which few we might have as a disclaimer. I would say few of them we might have recommended to our clients. Otherwise, don't take this as a fresh recommendation. As a disclaimer, this is just the view of where there has been long and where there has been short covering. This is not a recommendation. That is what I want to clarify as a disclaimer also.
Right. Fair. Raj, would you like to add something to any of the other sectors or?
No, don't want to add any other sector, but if I have to curtail down and I have to look discretely from the short covering perspective, so the FIs have been short and they have sold primarily consumption, power, and technology. Jay has already taken all these names. So, but if I'm expecting that short covering move and expecting this momentum to continue till the month end at least. So from the short term perspective, I would be looking at the consumption like Jay has explained. Technology, they have already taken the lead, started outperforming. If you look at from the last 2 weeks perspective and expecting them to continue. And power. So at the same time, we need to stock from across the spectrum, been significant pressure who are trading near 52-week lows. So just for an example, if you look at the PFCs, REC or the Concord, all these names, they were having humongous short positions, and there is a clear cut short covering which is happening in those names. So just from a risk world perspective, there we might find some momentum. We are not recommending them. We are just signaling towards those stocks where we have seen significant short additions over the last couple of months. I would say stocks like PFC and RDCs, they have seen continued short additions throughout the year. So if there is a covering, we might witness a good upward momentum in the very short term. So just from the covering perspective, my focus would be the consumption and these names where the stocks are near 52-week low.
That's great. Can we speak of volatility? The India VIX is sitting at relatively low levels. And what's driving that? And do you see if there's any potential spike from here?
Well, I'll just bring up the chart of the India VIX for a better understanding of India VIX.
Right.
See, one thing I'll tell you is that generally during the event time, the India VIX is going up, or maybe is likely to go up. And we have budget in on 1st Feb. Okay, this time around it's on Sunday. I guess that markets are likely to remain open on Sunday in 26, right? And prior to that, we also have Q3 earnings numbers, right? So that numbers and budget would definitely get India VIX up, is what I think from the current levels. So there is a less chance that we might see the continuation of the India VIX at the current levels. Okay, that is point one. And if that is likely to happen, then is it that markets will go down? Now, generally, we have seen that it is known as the fear index. What is India VIX is like when it goes up, generally market comes down, right?
Yeah.
There's a fear that market might correct from the current price, and when it's converse also. When India VIX goes down, market goes up. This time around, we have seen more or less India VIX falling and markets basically consolidating and not falling, right?
Right.
Now there is a fear that अगर ऐसा होता है तो फिर क्या बाजार वापस ऊपर चल वापस गिर जाएगा? It can fall. If they see that nothing is certain, as I said, तो market तो गिर ही सकता है. But this time, since FI shorts already है, there are a lot of stocks within the broader markets which have fallen quite a lot and just bouncing back since past couple of trading sessions. So वो जो bounce back कर रहे हैं एंड एफआई जो शॉर्ट कवरिंग कर रहा है, तो वो कारण से मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि अगर विक्स में ये टाइम उछाल आया कि देयर इज अ बाउंस इन विक्स फ्रॉम करंट लेवल्स व्हिच इज सिग्निफिकेंटली लो इफ यू सी. So this is on a daily chart. Let's pull out the chart monthly as well. तो थोड़ा broader view मिले हमें, but it's not coming out very clearly. Okay, so there here it is. So if you see this, I mean, since 2020, I mean, we have seen this at the lowest level. Okay, लास्ट 4-5 साल का भी हम देखें तो लोवेस्ट लेवल पे बैठा है. अब यहाँ से जब जब बाउंस हुआ है मार्केट में करेक्शन ही आया. I can show that to you as well. In 21, when it gone up, there was a fall due to Russia-Ukraine war, and the year also there was a fall. But then sometimes we have seen market it goes up because of short covering also. Last time it did happen, so I like to highlight that when it happened um, around this time. So this move was due to short covering, and then this move initially it was due to markets correcting from recent highs of 20. मतलब ये जब recent high बनाया था 26,300 का, वहां से जब करेक्ट हुआ थोड़ा इनिशियली 300-400 पॉइंट्स, तब ये बढ़ा था. तो ये शॉर्ट कवरिंग था और ये थोड़ा फॉल में था. फिर मार्केट ने पूरा कंसोलिडेट किया and market consolidated for a long time now we have seen, and within which we have seen Nifty weeks coming down. So if this has to be this has to replicate again, or if this has to repeat again, then I think that if at all there is a bounce, we may see short covering happening. So there is a possibility. But yes, one thing कि इतना लो लेवल पे तो ज्यादा टाइम इधर नहीं रुकेगा. So you can be prepared for a either side move of at least 3% in Nifty is what I believe. 3% means 750 points. So I think January May, in Jan you would see Nifty from the current market price of 26,200 approximately, at least 700 points up, or maybe 750 precisely. So it could be 27,000 or it could be 25,500 or maybe 400. ठीक है ना? That is what you will be seeing in Jan prior to the budget itself is what I'm thinking, or maybe on the day of budget. At least तब तक फर्स्ट वेब तक आपको ये लेवल्स देखने मिलेंगे is what I'm expecting. 3% is what I'm saying, nothing more than that. 2-3% is not much on Nifty. तो वो एक ही दिन में 250-300 पॉइंट गिरता है तो ये 1% तो एक ही दिन में हो गया. 2 दिन हुआ तो 2% तो हो गया. देन थोड़ा कंसोलिडेशन एंड अगेन वन मोर. So it's done. I think Jan में you will see either 26,900, 27,000 or 25,500. अब उसके लिए करना क्या है? So that could be a good strategy for Jan, I would say. If you are looking at for say 27 Jan का डेटा, अब यहाँ पे आपको करना ये है कि आप बहुत ही सिंपली 26,800 का कॉल ले सकते हैं, या तो 26,700 का कॉल ले लो 150 रुपए पे अप्रोक्सीमेटली, which is 500 points up from here, which is 2% up गया तो 2% डाउन ले लो, which is 500 means 25,700 जो भी रिसेंट न्यूज थे, राइट, वो टूटा तो ऐसे भी गया है, इवन व्हाट राज सेड। ये आपको मिलेगा 82 में, सो 82 और 80 रफली टू 26,700, 150, मतलब 230 रुपए के आसपास का आपका कॉस्टिंग हुआ। आप ऊपर का थोड़ा बेच भी दो, सो यू कैन डू अ लॉन्ग एंड कॉन्डोर स्ट्रेटेजी। तो आप बेचने में आप क्या कर सकते हो कि आपने 27,200 का 40 रुपए में बेच दिया, सो आपका कॉस्ट आ गया अभी 190 पे, एंड वहां से 500 पॉइंट नीचे और मतलब 25,200 का पुट आपने बेच दिया, अगर समझो, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, सॉरी, ओके, तो ये आपने भेजा 35 रुपए में, इसको भी 40 अगर रफली पकड़ो जस्ट फॉर सिंपलिसिटी, तो 150 रुपए के आसपास आप आ जाते हो, 150, 155, और 500 का गैप है, तो 150 के सामने 350 रुपए मिलेंगे। इफ इट इज गोइंग अबाउ 150 इज योर ब्रेक इवन, सो 26,850 विल बी अ ब्रेक इवन ऑन द अपसाइड, एंड 25,550 विल बी अ ब्रेक इवन ऑन द डाउन साइड। आईबीएस बढ़ेगी ना, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपको प्रीमियम बन जाएगा इसमें, और पैसे बन जाएंगे, इज व्हाट आई बिलीव इन। अगर 800 के ऊपर या 700 के नीचे या तो ऐसे ही पैसे बनना स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे, बिकॉज जनवरी को टाइम है अभी, फ्रॉम टुडे ओनली इफ यू इनिशिएट, तो इसमें टाइम है, बिकॉज एट दिस लेवल आई थिंक यू शुड बी डूइंग अ लॉन्ग एंड फाउंडर, आई एम श्योर राज विल ऑल्सो से द सेम। दिस इज अ मंथली strategy, we will come to weekly and next weekly strategy also, but since you asked me, so I gave you this reasoning for India weeks, and not basically focusing on one direction, rather it can be either ways, so either way strategy bana lo which is safe. I can give you the direction as well, maybe going forward later.
Okay, works. So moving on, let's speak of just today. With today's settlement approaching, where do you think Nifty is most likely to close by the end of today?
Well, Akansha, as of now, 26,200 itself is having a humongous call rating. The open interest is inching towards 5 crore shares. But I would say it's a bit early. And 26,200 can extend the upside like anything. So what we believe that right now I would wait. The VWAP of the day is somewhere around 24, 26 rupees for the 26,200 call strike. Only beyond which I think it will become a buy. And till then, because see, there is no point in premeditating or just taking a position long before then the action happens. So for me,
Right.
I would wait for 26,200 levels to be surpassed, or we when we can get to 20% to buy closer in that strike. That would be the time when I might go intraday on a long side. But if someone doesn't want to wait, in that scenario, I would suggest buying ITM 26,150 and then selling 250 sort of call options. So it would be more like an spread strategy. But right now, nothing negative, not talking about any decline, right? That is not the way. In case Nifty is moving below 26,080, that is almost 120, 130 points down from current levels. The buy shouldn't be negative. So yeah, Jay, if you want to add anything.
No, you're right, and I mean a bull call spread for today works. I mean, if you see 26,200 का भी कोई कॉल ले लेता है 22 रुपए में मिलेगा, एंड इफ वन सेल्स 26,250 6.5 रुपए में जाएगा, सो समवेयर अराउंड 21, 22 में यू बाय, एंड 6-7 इफ यू सेल, costing would be nearly around 15, 16 points. That is it, and against which you will be getting around 35 points. So 200 buy, I would say rather एक plain vanilla 200 ले लो, 20 रुपए का as a hero zero you buy it. Even if the short covering is happening in the broader markets, ये you never know, as and Raj are saying कि अगर इधर साइड मूव आ गया, अगर आज ही ऊपर आ गया, तो मैंने आपको 26,400, 500 का लेवल दिया, उन्होंने आज ही आ जाए 300, आज नहीं आया तो नेक्स्ट वीक आ सकता है. I mean, till now 26 is not broken. A view is bullish, right? I think Hero Zero should be a good thing. Otherwise, a bull call spread for today. For the next week, I would say if I have to give you a strategy for next week, it would be buying 26,200 call at 128 rupees and selling 26,000 probably 500, but then doesn't make sense. तो भी 1:2 बनेगा. 23 में अगर आप बेचोगे 128 के सामने तो 100 रुपए के आसपास का कॉस्टिंग है एंड 200 रुपए के आसपास का रिवॉर्ड है. 1:2 बन रहा है. और मैं भी यू कैन बाय 300 एंड सेल 500. तो 77 में यू सेल एंड 23 में यू बाय. नहीं सॉरी, 77 में यू बाय एंड 23 में यू सेल. सो द कॉस्टिंग वुड बी अराउंड 54 रुपीज एंड गैप इज ऑफ 200. सो आपका 50 रुपए के सामने 150 रुपए के आसपास का गेन है. 1:3 के आसपास का रिस्क रिवॉर्ड है. सो फॉर नेक्स्ट वीक यू कैन बाय 300 and sell 500. A bull call spread is, I'm very sure, for this, for today and for next week also. At least till 26,000 ब्रेक नहीं करता. 26 ब्रेक करे आप इसमें से एग्जिट भी कर जाओ. whatever premium left 50-55 का आपका कॉस्टिंग लगा है, if that is down to 20 rupees, even save that 20 rupees and exit. So your stop loss will be 26,000. Is very clear. Till that is held, I think you trade bullish strategies. May it be plain vanilla or bull call spread.
All right. So to wrap things up, what's your key piece of advice? Like you mentioned, you'll be sharing some directional strategies as well. So do you have anything to wrap things up? Just a quick highlight of what should our traders watch out for?
Yeah, as I just mentioned, few strategies. I mean, we can take those as the directional strategies. I mean, either going plain vanilla long or maybe doing a bull call spread. But for January, I think we are very clear that it could be either side move. There can be increase in India VIX and volatility. So maybe a long and condor, as we have suggested for the January, could be initiated. I mean, it can be the strikes could be adjusted based on your risk reward, right? So that you can do. But the idea is that a long IV trade is what we are suggesting for Jan. That is all it is. That is all what it is. And yeah, I mean, one can focus on those names which are beaten down quite a lot at this point of time, because if at all there is a short covering, I mean, you would see those stocks or sectors which are quite beaten down or wherein there is a lot of short positions. I mean, they might be attractive from the short covering point of view.
All right. And what about you, Raj? A couple of highlights just to before we wrap.
Yeah, I'll focus only for the next week right now, and I'm expecting this trend to continue. Until 26,000 levels are not broken, I'll remain on a long side. So that would be the stop loss. Now it's up to individuals how they want to trade this view. For me, I think the word Jay suggested that someone can buy 26,200 call option and then sell deep OTM to strike. That can also work. And if someone just want to take a call that okay, let's play for higher side, then buying a future and buying 26,200 put itself should work. In that scenario, you don't have any upside risk, because when there is a momentum, we might end up getting into a bit of hesitation that after 26,500, how much, kitna chalega market. So in that scenario, if you are having a future, it will take care of. And since you have already got put options, there isn't any downside risk. So the cost would be the buying option. So for me, I would be playing directionally positive for the next week. And for the January, I'm expecting volatility to surge. It shouldn't be at 9.5 for too long. Yes, we have been talking about it for some time now. But ahead of the quarterly results, which will start somewhere around mid of the Jan series, and your budget, IVs of 9.5 doesn't make sense. So going long in IV, that would be the trade. How we can do that? We'll come up with a report very soon, and accordingly we'll play.
All right, that is it. That's a wrap on today's Nifty Ki Baat. Thank you so much, Raj and Jay, for joining us today.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.